Hello friends, we are discussing about types of English drama. In my last video, we discussed on history plays, problem plays, and poetic drama. Now we are going to discuss on epic theater and theater of the absurd. Epic theater. The term epic theater was first used in Germany in 1920s and become associated with the name of Bertolt Brecht. It cut across the traditional divisions. Epic storytelling is objective. The beginning of epic theater coincide with German experiments in the use of the theater as an instrument of political instruction. The mode of the drama is investigated to instruct the people politically. So, this is not the way to instruct the people politically as per this Brecht. He asked in his essay on experimental theater, which was published in 1939, that how can the theaters be entertaining and at the same time instructive? Performing art is for entertainment of the society or people or the audience. Brecht thinks that how can be this art at the same time entertaining and instructing? So this is not possible according to Brecht. So epic theater generally was started to instruct the people politically. This epic theater tells a story in the way that invited the audience to consider the events involved and to make their assessment of them. They should make their assessments by their own thinking. So the incidences and the story is told to them in such a way that they should criticize themselves. Adjustment had to be made in the form of the play. If the dramatic play was the closed system of underdevelopment since, but with a plot so structured that the audience was in the suspense till the end, then the epic play was the montage of independent incidents which showed a process, and it moved from scene to scene by curves and jumps which kept the audience alert to judge what was right. So all these things happen in epic plays. Audience were compelled to think about the scenes and situations and judge themselves whether these scenes are true or acceptable Brecht sometimes compares his plays to scientific experiments and change for the better lay at the center of thinking. In epic theatre, man's thinking is conditioned by his social situation and will change if that changes. He is the agent of social change. Mother Courage and Her Children, published in 1941, is a good example of an epic play. The theatre of illusion had always carefully concealed mode. Brecht aimed to subvert the sympathy of the audience and the identification of the actor with his role. He hoped to encourage his audience to criticize and oppose the social conditions. Brecht had a bare grey stage and had minimal scenery and properties. Bright white light was used for every scene. The songs invite the actors to step out of their roles and address themselves to the audience. Brecht always insisted on the texture of reality. So Brecht's theory, which rejected Aristotelian principles, regarded a play as a series of loosely connected scenes, dispensed with dramatic climax, and used songs to comment on the action. So you can easily understand what exactly epic play means or epic theater means. The audience was captivated by many incidences, suppressed on them and compelled them to think over it critically, and identified them by their social situations. So epic play or epic theater was established basically to convey the political ideologies and political instructions to the audience. Then there is another theater or type of play, is the theater of the absurd. It is the term applied to drama that reflects the attitudes that the universe is without purpose and that human life is futile and meaningless. The basic concept of theater of the absurd is the human life is meaningless, absurd. Under such circumstances, man's existence becomes absurd. If the universe is without purpose, how can be human life is important? So the basic concept of universe is it is created naturally without purpose, and whatever in this universe is useless. So it portrays human beings as isolated from others. There is no conventional plot, dialogue, or character motivation. This formlessness and apparent irrationality are an expression of the absurd predicament of man. whose existence has no reason. Important playwrights are Beckett, Ionesco, Pinter, Albee, and Adamov. Martin Esslin writes that a term like theater of the absurd must be understood as a kind of intellectual shorthand for a complex pattern of similarities in approach, method, and convention of shared philosophical and artistic premises, whether conscious or subconscious, and of inference from the common store of transition. So, sense of loss of meaning due to political and social upheavals in the first half century must inevitably lead to a questioning of the recognized instrument of communication of meaning, language. Conversation is absurd and nonsensical as the language reflects the preoccupation of contemporary philosophy with the discovery of reality, and it emphasizes the basic absurdity of human condition. Thus, it has much in common with the existential philosophy of Heidegger and Camus. The theater of the absurd attacks the comfortable certainties of religious and political orthodoxy. It does not provoke tears or despair but the laughter of liberation, says Martin Esslin. So, very clear concept is there of absurd theater. The life is useless, human beings are useless, nothing is important in the universe because universe is created naturally without intention. That kind of thought emerged in the first half of the 20th century. You might have known that two world wars took place. First World War and Second World War. America used atom bombs against Japan. You might have known on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. A huge part of population was tremendously destroyed, demolished, or killed, in a simple word. So there was the situation in which no certainty was there of life of human being. Anytime anybody could die by any means. So the concreteness was disappeared. Firmness of life was disappeared. So uselessness of life and such thoughts were emerged in the mind of literary personalities, and a different kind of thinking was developed during the period. And that's why the stream reflected in the literature also, in some dramas also, which I have quoted before few seconds ago. So this stream is called absurd theater. theater of the absurd. So these are some types of dramas. I tried to explore or explain each and every type in a brief way so that you can easily understand uh, every type properly. We will see a next general topic, that is, I think, comedy as a form, in my next video. Thank you.